See this duck? It's important for later. Sword of the Stranger is a movie that you shouldn't YouTube search if you want to get the best experience out of watching the damn thing for the first time. It'd be like watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but just skipping to the ugly part. The Western comparison is apt here, I think. There are a lot of parallels in period action. Hell, look at the fucking Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven. One is a socio-political time capsule of a film about 7 fighters defending their hometown and shit, and the other's like an old Western movie or something. The comparison holds up the more I think about it, as I think both genres share a lot of DNA. Right from the first few minutes, you can tell what you're getting here is great. Simply, the character animation from the goons in the cabin shows a lot of wonderful attention to detail, and then holy shit. There are also birds within the first 10 minutes, followed quickly by a dog. This alone gets it my seal of approval. The film really is a snapshot of a time long past, being a living and breathing time capsule of this Sengoku-era section of Japan to its fullest, with a bit of some fantasy elements tacked in there, and these really shine in the particular areas where the film likes to let you breathe, and then 2 seconds later, there's a bit of pacing issues with the initial exposition. However refreshingly direct it ends up being, with just enough plot devices and points of information for you to start piecing everything together right before the movie outright tells you what's happening. And by that point, you have enough information to realize that everything is f***ed. So yeah, important to bring up. Hello and welcome to BaronJ's Important Plot Shit 101. Today we are talking about Chekhov's gun. If you know what that is, shut up. Chekhov's gun is a literary and film narrative principle that basically states that everything used in the story must be necessary towards the plot or used as efficiently as possible. If you see a gun in the beginning of the movie, it should have a reason to be there later on. Not everybody agrees on this, me included. I don't think it's absolutely necessary for plot structure, but it is important. However, Sword of the Stranger is an excellent example of this. Sure, there is this weird side story with a shogun and a princess that kind of just fizzles out toward the end, and that's mostly a distraction, I think, because here, instead of Chekhov's gun, it's Chekhov's action sequence. You have undoubtedly heard about the final fight of this film. It's one of the main things everyone talks about in reference to this movie. However, not only is nearly every bit of the final fight choreographed by bits and pieces of the story that are fed to you from nearly the beginning of the film, it pays off brilliantly in execution when it does finally happen. Speaking of choreography, the fight scenes are real good. Bones knows what they're doing. Even though they've been riding the Boku no Pico Academia money train for a bit, their works still speak for themselves. All the while during this, the score is beautiful and uplifting and cuts out right when it needs to for effect. All of the right notes that needed to be hit for my personal tastes when it comes to film music. And I know I've been harping on the action a lot for the past few minutes, but where I find a lot of this movie's strength is in its bits where there isn't a lot of action going on. There's moments to breathe, there's moments to relax right before big tension, big action, things like that. And I won't spoil too much more of the story, but overall, Sword of the Stranger is impactful. Its message not only being one of companionship and camaraderie, but additionally the pursuit of power and the pain that comes along with it that cannot truly be suppressed no matter how hard you try. One can be wounded by betrayal, and old wounds can heal, and sometimes the righteous do succeed, even if you must rely on a stranger's sword. That's why the movie's called Sword of the... wow. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, this video is brought to you by Audible and also the physical copies of Sword of the Stranger that you can purchase through my referral link below. I know this is another quick one, folks, but I needed to get something out there before I get married next week. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.